Well, they were transformational to the school in so many different ways. I mean, it really, I think that when we finished that 5-year strategic plan, not only had we, upgraded our facilities, our infrastructure, our technology, our, faculty compensation, better awareness of the needs of our student body, which goes anywhere from 10 years old to almost 30 years old, and the fact that, the difference in that age is lifetimes of experiences and needs and so forth. And so I mean, I can't even imagine how we would have ended up if it wasn't for Jerry and Marguerite making it possible for us to not just talk about these things, but actually do something about it. Now we take Lenfest Hall for granted, and people come in and they say, well, how could this place ever have functioned without it? And for those of us who studied at Curtis and worked at Curtis before Lenfest Hall, we knew that the collective blood pressure of the place was extremely elevated. And as a musician, the one thing, which sounds maybe not so earth-shattering, is just finding a place to practice. I mean, that doesn't sound that, monumental, but finding a place to practice when you need to practice is like the most important thing that you can give a music student. And when I remember the battles that we used to go through, and people sitting in the Grafman Common Room just kind of waiting for their next class because there wasn't enough time to go home to practice, and there wasn't no space to practice, and the guard having to clear the building at midnight with people desperately trying to stay and practicing, and because you can't practice at home after a certain time. So I mean, just those types of things, that we are able to accomplish now, which, are actually very rare for most music schools. Right. I mean, there are very few schools that say, actually, when I need a place to practice, I have one. I can find one. Right. I've been to concerts with Jerry. I used to sometimes sit next to him for orchestra concerts and things like that. And he would become visibly emotional about, this collective energy that would come off the stage. And he said, there's nothing like this. I mean, there's just nothing like this. And look at them. I mean, I'm so proud of them. And I think that over the years, Jerry really kind of fell in love with the students and what they represent, and this, I think for him, it was really about the future of the art form, the future of the institution. We have to protect and we have to help Curtis because it is about what comes next. It is about the future of what we all love so much. And I think that he was very emotional about that, and he was always willing to listen to something new, broaden his horizons as to the kind of music that appealed to different segments of the population. We would take him to, contemporary music concerts when we started to develop that whole program, which was not something Curtis was known for at one point. And he always was extremely intellectually curious about, the types of things that we were developing. And at the same time, if, as you mentioned, if he saw something that he felt was maybe not justifiable, it was made very clear very quickly. And until you were able to explain it to him, and then he would say, oh, okay, I get it. But, no mirrors or funny math or anything like that. I mean, it was, this needs to be explained, and if not, it was very quick, his reaction. So, yeah, very, very emotional, and you know, a full spectrum of possibilities. We've all been the recipients of his of his range of affection.